Hi, I'm Rob Britton, new General Manager Promoter here at Western Springs Speedway. Western Springs, it's coming up to its 91st season. Yep, the grand old girl, Western Springs Speedway, celebrates its 90th birthday on the 30th of November 1929. That's when motorcycle racing first began at Western Springs. I think it was pretty sure 1937 when the midget car racing, and it's going to be a stormer season coming on up. All begins on the 9th of November, 10 events throughout the 2019-20 season. And here we are at the CRC Speedshow promoting Western Springs Speedway and Speedway to everybody here in Auckland and the surrounding area. We've got a lot of competitions going on. We've got a lot of our drivers even signing autographs and posters for the kids. You can actually see the drivers in their race suits. The kids love that. And most importantly, we've got some giveaways. We've even got some promotions towards the first night, which is all kicking off on November 9. Following November 9, we have got the International Sprint Car Series, December 7, December 14, and whilst the actual drivers have not been confirmed and announced, they are very, very close. It's looking like definitely two outlaw drivers, one of them very much hot to trot right now. They are the hot favourites to be heading our way to New Zealand. A couple of Australians also coming, and I can absolutely assure you one of them is a absolute headliner. Then of course the all-important International Midget Series, and yep, there's a couple superstars definitely heading our way again. A plethora of drivers, in fact. A lot of Americans look like heading our way, and a couple of Australians indeed. One of the couple of the big ones that certainly a couple have been here in the past, and they basically want to do it differently. One of them recent years has certainly struggled to find his feet at Western Springs and realises he actually needs to change equipment, and that's what he looks like doing coming towards Western Springs this season. And also around that time, the New Zealand TQ title is going to be actually held on January 3 and 5 across with a day split in between. The decision was made that was going to be the best time to promote the TQs because there's a lot of major events around that area, and we're expecting a stellar field, even a lot of drivers from the South Island coming on up for that one. And then of course for a change up towards the back end of the season, February 15, Saturday night, February 15, we are looking at Rolling Thunder, so super saloons to head our way. Something a little bit different as opposed to the traditional open wheel, but I tell you what, you have a look at the reaction of the super saloons in past years at Western Springs, and definitely a crowd favourite. And then of course on top of that we've got the fireworks displays that do help celebrate the shows here at Western Springs, and we've got fireworks both on the opening night and the final night of the season. So fireworks on November 9 and at the tail end of March 2020. There is really not much of a noise problem as such at Western Springs Speedway. You actually have a talk of the local residents, and there's actually not too many objectors out there. In fact, you have a look at most of the residents and you have a look on the skyline. They've actually built huge back patios so they can actually watch the racing at Western Springs. So absolutely, Western Springs has to be good neighbours. There is certainly a strict curfew on there, 10:30 curfew, which will never be exceeded. There are absolute noise limits. So unfortunately, those guys with the midgets and the sprint cars, yes, they are going to have to pack their mufflers to keep them quiet. Don't really have a problem with that. That's actually standard practice all across the world. Probably the biggest thing for Western Springs Speedway thus far is only a 1-year extension on the lease, which succeeds in March 2020, and certainly looking at securing the future for Speedway in Auckland. Those discussions will be happening literally over the next few weeks.
We're down here at the CRC Speedshow in the Western Springs booth. We've got an array of cars which all race out of Western Springs. Here we've got the 91 Midget of Hayden Guptill, my own TQ number 2NZ, Nathan Howard's 19A F2, and Mike Wheeler's sprint car down the end. In the late, most people will have heard the name Western Springs Speedway through all the coverage that it's got, and through shifting to a possible new venue, which would be a shame to see the Speedway move, being that it's coming up with the season coming 2020. That will be 90 years at this venue. In terms of a Speedway track in New Zealand, it's one of the longest standing tracks. And for motorsport and Speedway in New Zealand, that would be a shame to lose the history that has been gathered around it. And like I say, I'll just go through it with the cars. The Midget uses a custom-built inline four-cylinder engine, cubic capacity 166 inches, with approximately about a 70-inch wheelbase and a 52 2-inch wheel track. The TQ, however, it's smaller. It uses a bike engine in a chain drive configuration, 750cc water-cooled GSXR Suzuki. The wheel track is more around the ranges of 46 inches wide and about 65 inches long. Further down we've got the F2 of Nathan Howard, which is identical replica of the midget itself. But the sole difference between the two cars is the F2 is an entry level for the midget game. What they use is a road car production engine. Nathan's utilizes a K20 Honda engine. A lot of the engines around are either SR20, K20 Hondas, there's Ford Focus engines, and they're all based around a 2-litre rule, so nothing more than 2 litre. At the end, we're down to the big boys, the sprint cars, the Winged Warriors. They use a 410 cubic inch all aluminium V8 engine, somewhere in the mix of 800 and 900 horsepower. Most are Chevy configuration. There's a few out there that are Fords, but yeah, like I say, big wing, big downforce, and probably the fastest and highest tier of Speedway New Zealand.
Hey guys, Nathan Howard here, driver of the 19 F2 Midget. We're down here at the CRC Speedshow at our Western Springs stand. We're just here promoting our track. Obviously a lot of people know that we're going to be moving soon or what's going to happen, so we're just down here trying to, promote the classes and the kids and the sport itself. Me as a driver, it'll be 10 years, 11 years now racing. Started in the kids class in the quarter midgets, did 4 years there, moved up into TQs, just like Peter Honeybell's doing, and did 4 years in that as well. So and then we got moved on, and now I drive for Jeff Harper and doing the F2 program and all that kind of stuff. So we've been fortunate enough that we've won quite a lot of races, and we came away with both championships in 1 year, and now he's giving me my shot into racing an A-grade midget this year for the team. So, it'd be pretty sad to see Western Springs go with having my dream coming true, racing for a A-grade and for a team as well. So we've got to try and make the most of it, and, so all the history and everything, it's a lot to all the guys, and, you wouldn't have the likes of Pickens and Mosen and all these guys that have raced there for so long, so it's pretty cool to do something like this down at the show and get amongst all the people walking around and fans and try and get this place out there.
It's good to see support for the Speedway here and all that's around. What people are doing in terms of media and stuff around with Speedway inside the dirt. We all appreciate what goes in, and it's all for a love of the sport. And without getting the sport out there to the masses, what we do is just a small thing. So, in terms of getting us on TV, the dirt media have done a good job of getting that to mainstream television, and Speedway Inside the Dirt is doing much the same, so it's very much appreciated.